Welcome to Ubuntu Desktop 14. Here we are greeted by the Login Manager, and you can see our username, in my case Cody Ray Miller here, and a box to input our password. So input your password as you specified during the installation and select Enter in order to boot into the system. Now this is the main screen for Ubuntu Desktop. Let's go over a few basic things. First of all, we have a launcher over here on the left. This is a part of the Unity desktop interface that Ubuntu 14 uses. At the very top of the launcher, we have a search feature where we can search for files as well as applications, and those suggestions will come up in real time. We also have on the launcher Files, which will open up our file manager, which by default in Ubuntu is called Nautilus. So this would be like Windows Explorer or the Finder in Mac OS X. Below that, we have Mozilla Firefox automatically installed, although we can install other browsers, including Google Chrome or Dolphin browser, if we would like to do that. Now, a difference between this kind of interface, this kind of graphical user interface, and Windows systems in particular, is that as we maximize a window, let's use this Firefox window as an example. By double-clicking up here on the top of the bar, we can maximize the screen. And our top bar becomes embedded up here at the very top, so it's no longer separate. We can take it and pull it and drag it down, and you can see that there's still a bar up here which is attached and will provide functionality for the window we have selected. This may not be new to you if you're familiar with Mac OS, but if you're coming to Ubuntu from Windows systems, this might not make a lot of practical sense to start with. Just understand that as we can have two different windows open, this top bar is going to change depending upon what we have selected. You'll see that it says Files up here. That's the selected window. If we shift over to Firefox, it changes to Firefox web browser. This will now bring up the file menu for Firefox. If we are over here in the file manager, that is Nautilus, and we go to File, we would now be doing something, whatever we selected here, within the Files window instead of Firefox. And again, when we maximize these windows, their top bar becomes integrated with the top bar of Ubuntu Desktop. Again, we can click, hold, and drag down in order to separate that screen out. Now we also have, by default, LibreOffice installed in Ubuntu Desktop. This is going to be a free alternative to Microsoft Office. We have LibreOffice Writer, which is like Microsoft Word, LibreOffice Calc, which is like Microsoft Excel, and LibreOffice Impress, which is similar to Microsoft PowerPoint. Now we also have the Ubuntu Software Center here, and this is where we can select new applications, new programs to install in Ubuntu. Don't worry, we'll go over all of these applications in much greater detail. I just want to show you what's on your launcher to start with. So let's close out of these programs, and Calc, and LibreOffice Writer as well. And you can see that we also have an Amazon button, as well as a System Settings Launcher. And because we inserted our Guest Edition CD on our VirtualBox machine, you can see here that we have a CD mounted as well. You may not see this on a physical installation unless, of course, you have some sort of DVD or CD in your optical drive, at which point Ubuntu should automatically mount it and place it down here on the launcher. Finally, on the launcher, we have the trash can, which works much in the same way as it does in Microsoft Windows or Mac OS. You can right mouse click on the desktop in order to create a new document. In this case, we'll select an empty document and give it a name. I'll give it the name Trash, since I want to show you how we move this to the trash can. Click, hold, and drag it down to the trash. And that's pretty basic functionality that you should be familiar with from any operating system. Now, over here on the top right, we have some additional buttons. This up-down icon is letting us know that we have an Ethernet connection. You may see something that looks more like a fan or a radio signal up here, and that would mean that you have a wireless connection active on your Ubuntu desktop installation. Now, we also have our language icon, which in my case is English US. That's our keyboard layout as well. And we have a volume slider where we can set the master volume for the system, followed by a clock, a timestamp, which we can click on in order to bring up a calendar. Finally, we have our power button here. Selecting the power button, we can learn about this computer. We can get Ubuntu help. We can go to System Settings, which would take us the same place as the System Settings launcher on our left sidebar. We can also choose to lock the system, which will not log us out of our session, but will simply lock the screen and require a password. We can log into a guest session, or we can log out entirely. We can also suspend our session, and we can choose to shut down the system. Let's go ahead and do that now. Select Shut Down, and you'll see that you'll be greeted with two options here. You can either restart or shut down the system. Let's go ahead and give it a restart before we proceed on with the next module.